It is lecture number 30 actually. Again, we will talking about the continuity of. We continued that concept in last class. What we discussed about Lagrange duality and everything in duality concept. Wherever I will talk about duality, I won't go in detail in Fenchel duality. I will always talk about Lagrange duality, and also there you will see there is a very good relation between Lagrange duality and Fenchel duality. So coming to outline of my today's lecture, these are the following. First, I will take few examples of the problem where we will apply Lagrange duality in order to get a dual problem. Okay, once we are having a dual problem, that means once we are having enough idea how to find a dual problem for a given primal problem, then we will talk in detail about that dual problem. There are many criteria, and one of that criteria is law of duality. That means there are two type of law of duality. One is weak law of duality, another one is a strong law of duality. So a strong law of duality generally holds good for convex problem. If your primal problem happens to be convex, then definitely if you try to find dual of that, then dual happens to be dual is always a convex problem. So what is happening in a strong law of duality? So there would be now you are having two problem. One is primal problem. So suppose P star is the optimal value of the primal problem, and now you are having another problem, dual problem, and definitely that dual problem is also an optimization problem. So suppose D star is the optimal value of that dual problem. So call it you are having primal problem P and dual problem D. Now what is the then what is the relation between optimal value of these two problems? So if suppose it happens that what is it is D star is always bounded below by P star is always bounded below by D star. So in this scenario we are calling it weak law of duality. And when we observe P star is exactly equal to D star, then that scenario we are calling it a strong duality. So if you are having a convex optimization problem under a few uh, condition, you will observe that convex optimization problem is always following a strong duality. But if you are taking a non-convex problem, then non-convex problem anyhow definitely that non-convex problem will follow this weak law of duality. But we have to see few problem in which what is happening that few non-convex problem also satisfy a strong law of duality. So those things also we will see later in this course. Okay, so coming to example of Lagrange duality, few example we had already discussed in last class. So I am again few more example. So one example that we had discussed about finding least norm solution of a given linear system. So suppose we are having a linear system Ax equal to B, and it is a consistent system. That means it is a solvable system. And in more general, if you want willing to get infinitely many solution, then you can take condition that this one is underdetermined system. That means you say that number of uh, sample happens to be less than dimension. M is less than n. That is the criteria. And for consistency, what is happening? This right hand side vector B, it must be in the column space of A for being a solvability condition. Those are directly coming from linear algebra perspective. And so we are having this problem, that means least norm minimization of this system. So this system is having solution among several solution. We have to find the solution which is having the least solution. So I had already given geometry of that. So what you do, that one was the geometry in last class I had already discussed. Now we are just applying a Lagrange duality concept. That means it is a pure analytic approach. So what we do, first we define the Lagrangian. So we are having objective function, and we augment that objective function with the given constant. So constant is what? It is the equality constant Ax equal to B. So in a standard form of the optimization problem, you might have already seen that always we write constant like this way. If there is equality constant, then everything we keep non-zero things we keep in left hand side, and zero thing we keep in right hand side. So that's way this condition equivalently can be translated into in this form that it says Ax equal to B just implies that Ax minus B equal to 0. So both are equivalent. I think. There is no much difference. So we are taking, so this is the equality constant. So both are the same, represent same equality constant. So we do define here Lagrangian. That means x transpose x plus this mu transpose ax minus b, whatever in right hand side, in left hand side. So with so this is your Lagrangian. Now in order to get dual function of this problem, so what we do minimize this already defined Lagrangian with respect to primal variable x. I'm saying here x is a primal variable because it is the given problem what we had. So that's why it is a primal problem. Now, so here it is a very nice function. What kind of function? This one is a quadratic function, and we know from calculus class that quadratic function is always a differentiable function. So we can differentiate this function with respect to x by finding the gradient with respect to x. So if you solve this gradient, then and equal to 0, you are getting an optimal solution for this Lagrangian with respect to a space variable or primal variable x. And that what is that? That is x equal to negative half of A transpose mu. So you got the optimal point with respect to x. Now substitute back this x in this Lagrangian, you will get your minimum value of the Lagrangian with respect to x, and that minimum value we are calling it dual function of the given problem. Anyone is having any question? If you are willing to ask, then you can ask. So we had already got this dual function g of mu, and remember that we are having equality constant, so that's why only mu is coming, 12 variable mu is coming, lambda is not coming. Why? Because we don't have any inequality constant. So mu, so dual function is just a function of mu. So this one is a very nice function. What function? It is a quadratic function, and quadratic in mu. And also what is the coefficient matrix? A into A transpose. This matrix always happens to be positive semi-definite, but also minus negative sign is here. Due to that, negative A into A transpose, it becomes a negative definite. So that's why it is a concave function. Now what we do now here, we have to maximize a concave function. So we need to maximize this function. So maximizing a concave function, and here mu is unrestricted. There is no condition over mu. There is no constant over mu. Mu is free kind of variable. So that's way it is an unconstant optimization problem, and the this function is always bounded above by this p star. That means optimal value of the primal variable. This property we are calling it lower bound property. That means p star is always greater than equal to this one. That means we are getting a always getting a function which is which bounds p star from below. So lower bound property LBP I have written in short, and here you can see that p mu is coming from RP unrestricted. So unconstant problem. This one is one kind of unconstant problem here. So always you have already seen that here you are dealing with equality constant. Here you are not dealing with any constant. So this problem is relatively easier to solve than this problem. But remember that both problem, call it this primal problem, it is a convex problem. A dual problem is also a convex problem. That here dual, what is the dual problem? We need to max when we are having a concave function, and that time we need to maximize that concave problem. So g of mu we need to maximize. So it is here dual problem. Okay, both problem are convex in nature. Dual is also convex, primal is also convex, but this dual problem is much easier to solve. So that's why it looks nice to see in duality form. Okay, I had also taken one more problem, that linear program problem. So what we do here, this one was the linear program problem in a standard form. Remember that I had already mentioned that it is in when you there is a constant ax equal to p, and the non-negative condition is put there in the primal variable, then such kind of form we are calling it a standard form. So again we need to define Lagrangian. A step is same. So always we will go for same step, but only difference would be there is that how to minimize the Lagrangian. So this one is a linear function. So simply calculus techniques is not going to help in much detail to find the infimum of this Lagrangian with respect to primal variable x. So what we do apply concept from linear algebra, or sorry, concept from simple analysis or mathematical or real analysis. It will say that Lagrangian of Lagrange dual function of this Lagrangian or this primal problem, it would be just negative of B transpose mu subject to this condition. This is the constant condition we put. Okay, otherwise it will go to negative infinity. So negative infinity, it is infeasibility condition. So we want to focus on that. We will focus on over only this part of dual function. Okay, so again we observe that according to lower bound property, it says that P star is always bounded below by this linear function subject to this condition. Okay, this linear condition. So we observe linear condition in term of mu and lambda. Linear mu A transpose mu equal to lambda, lambda so equal to lambda. We know that means we are having condition constant over mu. Lambda is we know that lambda is always greater than equal to 0 and mu is unconstant. But if you observe this equation, it is saying equal to 0. So from here you will come to know A transpose mu equal to lambda. Lambda is always greater than equal to 0. Component wise greater than equal to 0. That's why we say that A transpose mu is C plus A transpose mu is always greater than equal to 0. So that is the inequality constant. Okay, so now I will take one more general kind of norm minimization problem. So here in the first example, what I have taken a specific norm. That one was uh, L2 norm or P2 norm, simply you can say. So if you take a square of 2 norm, so how we denote it? We denote it by x transpose x. X transpose x, it is coming with respect to a square norm. But here remember that I am changing the norm. Here norm is any general kind of norm, any convex norm. That means any p norm it can be. So now we do minimization of that norm of the solution of the system Ax equal to b. So how can we minimize this one? So that is the problem. So what we do, again we will do we won't solve this primal problem directly. We will define Lagrangian, and then we will define a equivalent dual problem of this primal problem. So Lagrangian, again directly it will come as what? Here we are having again equality constant, so that's why mu will come. And so Lagrangian is norm of x plus mu transpose b minus ax. If you simplify in such a way, you bring x as a separate term and other constant term in as another separate term, then we do need to minimize this function with respect to x. Then how can we minimize? So minimization is very simple. Here we are minimizing with respect to x. So here criteria is coming. How can you minimize? Just focus on this term. It is what? It is a linear term. And suppose you take y equal to A transpose. Y consider as a direction. Y equal to A transpose mu. So in that perspective, so where is x involved? In these two terms we observe x, so we need to minimize this part, and last part is just independent of x. So optimization with respect to x is not going to affect this last term. So we need to optimize these two terms. These are the attentive terms. So what we do, that means we need to minimize norm of x minus y transpose x. So how can we minimize this? Here we don't know the structure of this norm. This one is any general norm. So we do minimize with respect to general norm. So how can we minimize? So we can minimize with respect to analytic or analysis result from analysis. How we can do that? So remember that y transpose x, what does it talk about? So if you recall the dual norm of any vector, dual norm always happens with respect to direction we are defining. So what is the dual norm of this y? So how we will define dual norm? It is talking about, I would like to write it here. There is a space issue. So dual norm, suppose we are having this linear function y transpose x. So how can we define dual norm of y? So dual norm of y, it would be I'm giving here a notation norm strict. It is saying dual norm. It is defined as supremum of x, supremum of y transpose x divided by norm of x. This is the definition. That means we take supremum with respect to x. Remember that x must be here non-zero, because norm of x is coming in denominator. So here we are putting only condition norm of x is equal to 0. There are many equivalent definition of dual norm of a vector. So another definition you can say that supremum of y transpose x in such a way x is coming from unit ball. Another definition. So here such that norm of x is coming from less than equal to 1. That means it is coming from unit ball. There is one more definition of dual norm. It says that supremum of y transpose x okay, and such that x is coming from the sphere norm of x equal to 1. So all these are equivalent definition. All are giving same value. That's why all these are definition equivalent definition. But here my intention is to initiate with uh, this definition. This one is more useful. So take a condition like this way. Suppose we are taking a dual norm of y is less than equal to 1. What does it give? If you are taking dual norm of x y less than equal to 1, then it says that simply what is this dual norm of y? It is talking about supremum of y transpose x divided by norm of y is less than equal to 1. That means bounded above by 1. So that is the criteria of definition of dual norm of y. Now what we do next, we know that supremum, if supremum is bounded above y1, then every term of this one, every term of this one, definitely it would be bounded above by 1. So it will simply imply that y transpose x would be less than divided by norm of x, it would be less than equal to 1. Just do further simplification, it would be less than equal to 1. If you do further simplification, what does it imply? It says that uh, norm of x minus y transpose x, it is always greater than equal to 0. And what we do, we try to find, so remember this here, it is coming like this term. So we try to find infimum of this function, that means norm of x minus y transpose x with respect to x. What is the infimum value or what is the least value? Who would like to answer? What would be least value? Samideep, what is the least value? Are you listening me? So what is the least value of norm of x minus y transpose x with respect to x? Just see the, you don't need to apply differentiability. It is very simple. What is written? Yes. Are you able to understand this or not? Yes. I'm listening you. I'm listening you. Hello. Hello. Did you get the meaning of this? Okay. Here infimum would be definitely here norm of x minus y transpose x greater than equal to 0. That means 0 is the least value. 0 is the least value with respect to x. So that's way dual function of this optimization problem is what? It is just p transpose mu when we put condition that dual norm of y is less than equal to 1. Y is what here? A transpose mu. So this is the, otherwise it will go to negative infinity. So we are not interested in this case. Okay. So we got the dual function of this problem, this optimization problem. That means equality constant for minimization problem, and hence we are getting lower bound property. That means P star is always bounded below by uh, B transpose mu and subject under this constant. So we are getting a linear. So it is a you can remember that I don't know the exact form of this optimization problem, but we know the exact form of the dual problem. What kind of dual problem? It is a linear problem. It is talking about maximization of B transpose mu subject over condition, norm of A transpose, well, norm of A transpose mu is less than equal to 1. So we do maximization of B transpose mu. It is a linear function subject to, that means in short I am writing it SP dual norm of A transpose mu is less than equal to 1. Okay. Now, next what we will do, we are going to take one more example that we call it two-way partition problem. Are you able to see the slide? Anyone respond? Whether slide is visible or not? Okay. Okay, fine. In between, if you face any problem, let me know. So two-way partition problem, we are coming it here. So consider a least square norms solution of the, okay, it is two-way partition. What we do, we are having few points. We have to, or suppose there is a, in library there is a information hidden in some book, and we have to especially get that information. Then how can we get that information? So we can assign few people to look into all the pages of the book to get that information. So it is one kind of, if you do in layman way, then it definitely it would be very hectic job. So you do apply a very optimal kind of partitioning approach. So such kind of problem are coming in partitioning. So here one partitioning problem, we are what we do, we do minimize x transpose wx. Here w is the cost of minimization that we're doing partition, subject to xi square equal to 1. That means xi, it will be it will define class, either xi will be minus 1, or simply if you solve it, then xi square equal to 1. What does it say? Solution, it would be what? Xi, either it would be minus 1 or xi would be plus 1. There are two class or two group kind of thing, two in two group. In order to do partition, we divide in two group. So and here we have taken n number of such points. Okay, I varies from 1 to n. So this problem is what? It is a non-convex problem. Why? Because of this constant. You can look into this constant. Here in equality constant, we don't have a affine function. We are having a nonlinear function. So due to that condition, this problem is a non-convex problem. And what we do, we will try to find dual of this function. So just go in the similar process and define Lagrangian of this function. What would be Lagrangian of this function? So it would be x transpose w plus this here it involves equality constant. So we have to introduce the Lagrange variable mu, which is coming with respect to equality constant. So that's why we are writing it summation uh, uh, summation of mu I xi square minus 1, where I vary from 1 to n. And if you're willing to write this one in the matrix form, so with respect to this mu I xi square, you can introduce diagonal matrix, which having diagonal mu I is having in diagonal of that matrix. So that's way this Lagrangian, it will take the form x transpose into w plus mu times I x, and this term, linear term, 1 transpose x. Here this one is what? It is one vector. You call it one vector. That means every entry of that vector, one vector is what? 1. So it is like this way. Every, if suppose one vector is n dimensional one vector, then every entry is 1, like this way. So if you take like in 2D, if suppose you are in 2D and you do uh, this 1 transpose x, x would be also in 2D. So that means it is talking about one transpose. That means you will write the column vector in term of row, because you are applying transpose. So it would be 1 transpose is what 1 1, and x is what, it is a two-dimensional vector having coordinate x1 and x2. And if you simplify it, then what kind of form it will take? It will take a very simple form of linear function. It says that x1 plus x2. That's why it is a linear function. So it is another way of representing linear function. You, if you observe, the coefficient of each linear term is 1. So that is the way to represent a function, such kind of function. Okay, so now we need to minimize this Lagrangian with respect to x in order to get a dual function. So here again, this function doesn't look differentiable and other kind of things. Due to that, you can apply differentiability and other things, but convexity you can't talk about, because here you don't know the nature of W and you don't know the nature of mu is unconstant. So you have to go for that even analytic technique, that you have to directly find infimum of this Lagrangian. So infimum of this Lagrangian, what will happen? So infimum will be highly dependent on the coefficient of this quadratic function. Linear is not going to play any important role here. Quadratic will be much important. Suppose this coefficient of this quadratic function, quadratic term or quadratic form, you can call it. If suppose the coefficient matrix, it happens to be positive semi-definite, then what will happen? This term will be a convex function. This will be a convex function, this kind of structure. So convex function, and then and what that convex function is, and what it is, it would be also bounded below by 0. What would be minimum value of this one? So this quadratic part, minimum value of this quadratic part, if you are taking that your coefficient matrix W plus mu I happens to be positive semi-definite, in that case the minimum value of this quadratic form, only this quadratic form, it would be what? 0, because it is convex in nature. Okay, and what is then in that case, we will have, so here mu is coming here, not x. Okay, that means we are having this constant term. So that's your dual function. It would be what? Uh, Negative of 1 transpose mu, 1 vector transpose mu, when your coefficient matrix W plus mu I greater than equal to 0. That means positive semi-definite. Otherwise, it will approach to negative infinity. When this one is not positive definite, this coefficient matrix W plus mu I is not positive definite, then definitely what scenario will have? It will definitely going to approach to negative infinity. It will be unbounded below. Simply, one example you can look into this. X1 square minus x2 square. So what is coefficient matrix of this one? If you are willing to write in the form of uh, in term of quadratic form, so coefficient matrix, that means you try to write like this way: x transpose. So coefficient matrix will simply come as directly I'm writing it here, x1 square minus x2 square. So 0 0 minus 2. So it is not positive definite, semi-definite. So you can easily see that coefficient matrix is what? It is indefinite in nature. Indefinite. It is neither positive semi-definite nor negative semi-definite. So that's why this function is unbounded below. It is unbounded below. So if I'm asking what is the minimum with respect to x, minimum it will go to minus infinity. But this function is here. This one is positive semi-definite. That's why it is having bounded below by 0, and minimum of this quadratic form would be 0, and only this term will come. Otherwise, if it is not positive semi-definite, then it will go to minus infinity. Otherwise, that's where this condition I have written here. So what is the dual function of this given problem? So we got it, it's just a linear function, negative of 1 transpose mu. So very simple. So again, it will satisfy the lower bound property, that P star will be always bounded below by this linear function, subject under condition that W plus mu I is positive semi-definite. So you can see that it is a what kind of problem? It is a convex problem. You can observe that. So always, if you are having convex problem, you can solve. And also it is very easy. It is relatively easier than this primal problem. Primal problem was non-convex, but your dual problem is a convex problem, so you can solve it. So that's where dual is playing very important role. So now I will talk very general a structure of dual problem, because we have to what utilize all kind of properties, associated property with the dual problem. So that's where I will discuss in detail regarding dual problem and general form of dual problem, other duality condition, other kind of things. So first I would like to uh, talk about the relation between Lagrange dual and conjugate Lagrange dual function and conjugate dual function. So what is the relation? So consider an optimization problem that simply we optimize an objective function f naught subject over linear constant. That means we are having both kind of constant, equality constant and equality constant. Okay, so this is our given optimization problem. Okay, so what we do define here Lagrangian. So we define here Lagrangian. What is Lagrangian here? F of x naught plus here both kind of constant are here. We are having inequality constant. Also we are having equality constant. So with respect to inequality constant, we are having lambda. So lambda transpose ax minus mu plus uh, mu transpose mu is coming with respect to equality constant. That's why mu transpose cx minus d. And if you simplify, try to write all the coefficient of x in together, just for the simplification perspective. So that's why we are writing it f of x naught plus this all transpose a transpose lambda plus c transpose nu. We segregate all these together and then call it simply something like that, uh, y transpose, something like y, like so y transpose x, you can call it. Coefficient of x is what? Y. And we are having this constant term independent of x. So that's why I'm saying that these are constant with respect to x. So it is not having any x term. Now we have to minimize this Lagrangian with respect to x. So again, we won't apply a calculus technique, because f of f x naught is f, just it is not in explicit form. We are having just f x naught. We don't know explicit form of f x naught. So again, we will apply the concept from analysis, and what we do minimize this term Lagrangian, and while minimizing this term, just do little bit manipulation here. And if you try to look into this function, what kind of function it look like? It look like that we do minimization of f not minus minus. So I'm taking minus, so plus sign, you can write it minus into minus. So that's criteria I made introduce. Minus of uh, a transpose lambda minus c transpose mu. Minus into minus plus, it is very much easy result. So that's why that thing I have writing in this way, in order to visualize what conjugate definition of conjugate function. So we are minimizing this function, and remember the definition of conjugate function. What does it say? So if you are having a function f, and how we define conjugate function for in a given direction, for a given direction y, we define it like this way. It says that we are finding infimum of the function, given function f, and its difference with linear function y transpose x with respect to x. So we find infimum of uh, fx minus y transpose fx. This one was the definition of conjugate function. So same criteria is coming here. So here, what is the coefficient of x? That's why intensely I had written. Coefficient of x is negative of transpose of negative of a transpose lambda minus negative of a transpose mu. So this, so that's way, just call it y, and this directly it will take the form of y. So y, this is your y. So conjugate function f naught s star, y is coming, and these are what? These are independent of x, so it is not playing any role in the case of finding conjugate function. Directly this term as will appear as a constant with respect to x. So we are getting dual function of this primal problem is what? Conjugate function of this one minus this term. So it is one way. This kind of approach is very helpful when we know when we are having some idea of conjugate function of the given objective function. If you know conjugate function of the given objective function, then easily we can find a dual function of that problem. So that is the idea. So one example here I have already taken here, this conjugate function, this dual function, it would be always a concave function and it will satisfy the lower bound property. And you can say that it is in a very nice convex. If you want to maximize this concave function, then it is a convex optimization problem. Okay, so if you for just example I have taken entropy maximization problem. Suppose entropy is negative of entropy, it is defined like this way. Okay, what we do, then find the conjugate function of this one. In one class during conjugate function I might have already discussed. So here conjugate function of this entropy, negative entropy function, it is, but it is just exponential function. It is coming in exponential function. So here you are having idea of conjugate function for a given objective function. So easily you can find the dual function of such kind of function if you know so this technique is only useful when you are having some idea of conjugate function of the objective function. Otherwise it might be difficult to find apply this problem. So there are many ways to solve it, to find dual functions. So it is one of the way. Okay, so further, what we do here, I am just defining dual problem. So remember that till now I was talking about how to get dual function, and I was talking about lower bound property. Now here we are defining dual function. So dual function is maximization. It is strongly I have written minimization. Here it would be maximize. We need to maximize dual function because the dual function always happens to be a concave function. The Lagrangian dual function always happens to be a concave function. So we have to maximize the Lagrangian dual function g of lambda mu, where we are having only constant that lambda is component wise greater than equal to 0 and mu is unrestricted. So it looks very simple and very simpler. That means simpler. Simple means in relative sense it is simpler than primal problem, because we are dealing with only one uh, constant in only one kind of variable, that dual variable lambda. Mu is also dual variable, but that one is unrestricted. So what we do, so here this if you solve this dual problem, then it will find the best lower bound on p star. P star, remember that p star is what? It is the minimum value of primal problem. So you can say that it is minimum value of the or least value of the primal problem, or simply you can say that value of primal problem. Okay, so now so you got a least bound of this p star through this way. Okay, by solving this dual problem. Also, what is the benefit of dual problem? This dual problem is always a convex problem. So that is the benefit of defining dual problem. And suppose d star is optimal value of this one. D star is, so it will give a d star. So d star also it will provide a greatest lower bound, or simply it will greatest lower bound for g star, for p star. Among the lower bound, d star would be the greatest lower bound of p star. That means p star would be, simply you are saying that there are many things. P star is bounded below, then among several lower bound, which one is the nearest one to p star? D star is the nearest one to p star. So that is the scenario. Okay, so and here what lambda and mu, we are calling it these are dual variable, and we will say that these are feasible, dual feasible, because x is a primal variable. So there we introduce primal feasibility, or simply we are calling it feasibility. But lambda and mu are dual variable, so we call it dual feasible if lambda and mu, these are coming in the domain of the object, our dual function g. It must be in the domain. Otherwise it is, if it is outside of domain g, then there is no meaning of talking about feasibility. And often simplified by making explicit constant that uh, our implicit constant, it becomes we are writing explicitly. Here you have already seen that always whenever we are defining in the process of Lagrange dual function, always we talk about domain of that Lagrange dual function. That's why uh, when a constant which is dealing only with the domain of the objective function, then such kind of constant we are calling it implicit constant. Initially I had already discussed during initial part of convex optimization problem. So here it is directly dealing with domain of the uh, this Lagrange dual function. That's why this condition we are calling it implicit condition, but we write it explicitly. Okay, one example you can look at here. So we are having this linear problem. It is primal, call it primal problem. And I had already discussed that what is the dual problem of this one? Dual problem of this one is this. This is the dual problem. So call it this one is primal problem denoted by P, and this one is dual problem denoted by. So one example I have already given. So given here, so you are having primal problem. Always try to get dual problem.